up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's Friday. You know what that means. Fear Gauge Friday. Oh yeah, ready to get spooky. And actually, you guys have been so good. You guys have been the best audience ever. So I actually got you a gift. It comes in this box. Let's take a look. For those of you who don't know what Fear Gauge Friday is, it's essentially, it's where I talk about scary things, and hopefully scare you too. No, just kidding. But it actually is it's a show where I discuss scary things that I've seen, and I tell you how scary it is. That's the basic thing. I'm not a horror critic by any means. I'm not talking about the plot. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking purely about how scary it is. Objectively, is this a scary movie or not? The topic at hand for this week is The Other Side of the Box. So The Other Side of the Box is a short film that came out on YouTube a while ago. I don't know if it really picked up that much traction because, to be honest, before it was recommended to me by a friend, I don't think I had ever heard of it. But anyway, once I saw a little bit of it, just like a couple seconds, and I was like, oh, I'm so sold. So anyway, it's like a short film on YouTube. It's like only like 11 minutes long or something like that. But if you guys are interested, you can actually watch it alongside me on my second channel, which is called Noodle TV. It should be in the description as well. But basically, I watch it there, I live stream it there, so you don't have to watch it alone. You can watch it with a cop. A ramen cop. Basically, I'm going to move on to the non-spoiler section. This is kind of where I talk about, like, just in general, a very vague description of kind of like why it's scary, that sort of thing, or why it's not scary. And then after that, I'm going to give a brief, like, rundown, brief summary of what goes on. And then I'll actually talk about, like, the things that made it specifically scary in the actual video. Then I'll actually make a decision. So after the non-spoiler section is done, you can actually skip. I'll timestamp it. You can skip to the overall decision. So if you're curious about watching it, but you don't really, you don't know if you're gonna watch it or not, and so you actually want to know if it's scary or not, you can watch the kind of the non-spoiler section, then skip to my overall decision. And then if I'm saying it's like the most terrible thing ever, don't watch it, it's awful, blah blah blah, then you don't have to watch it. But basically, this is a gauge you're reading to see if it's worth watching, or if you're not into scary stuff, it's maybe not worth watching. Non-spoiler, this is a very good story. It's a very original scary story. I'll give it that. So it's not something that you typically see. There's a big twist in it that I'm trying to make it as vague as humanly possible. There's a big twist in it that really kind of changes the whole dynamic of the story. You think you know what's going on, but man, does it throw you for a loop. I also liked, well, this is also kind of what made it scary too, for a vague way, is that the characters don't act in a way that is typical to horror movies. Like, in horror movies or horror media, whatever, they're always like making a dumb decision. Like, it's like, run through the hallway of chainsaws or run to the exit. It's like there's a killer chasing him. Run through the hallway of chainsaws or run to the exit. And the horror movie characters are like, let's go through the chainsaws, it's safer. That sort of thing. But these people are acting completely like sound mind. And like, I guess when I was watching it, this is exactly what I was doing. I was like, I'm in this scenario, this is what I'm doing, right? This is exactly what I'm doing. And they act upon that, but they don't. You'll see if you want to watch it. I definitely recommend it. I know I'm not rating the quality of these things, but let me tell you, I was pleasantly surprised by this piece of this short film, this piece of media. So now that's kind of the end of the non-spoiler section. So if you want to skip to the final decision to talk about why it's not scary, then, well, why it's not scary. It's not scary. No, I'm just kidding. But why it's scary or not scary, then by all means, check out the end. But right now I'm going into the kind of the brief synopsis of what happens. So basically in this short film, you have this modern couple. They're enjoying their evening, cooking, and then I assume to be the ex-boyfriend shows up, and so the girl hides. The girlfriend, she hides, and so the guy like lets him in. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Apparently they must have had a falling out, or they allude to a falling out, and then basically the guy gives him a box, right? And he said, or it's a present, and it's like Christmas time, so perfect as this video is coming out, perfect time to watch it. But so he opens the box, and there's nothing in the box. It is like dark. It's like a void. And so then as soon as he does that, as soon as the dude opens the box and looks in, it's like, what's going on? What? The guy leaves, like he bolts. And then, so the girlfriend comes out, they're like talking about it, and then they find out this box is like bottomless, right? They're like, oh man, this is creepy. And then he reads the note. They're like, whoa, this box is totally cool. It's bottomless. They read the note and it says, don't look away. Don't look away from it. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm doing this. Don't look away from it. And then they turn back, and I kid you not, this is the most, I'll talk about this more in the next section too, but this is the most like, ugh, like freaky still image. It's even the thumbnail of the video, but just his eyes like sitting over the box is like so freaky. It's like, oh my God, that's weird. And like, there's been media before where it's like, oh, you can't look away from this thing or it's gonna kill you, that sort of thing. But this story does it in a way that's very interesting. So then they like look away for a second, and then his fingers come out, and so then afterwards he lets the boyfriend says, okay, one of us has to leave, one of us has to find the guy who gave the box to us, and it's like, figure out what's going on, figure out what to do with it. So the girlfriend basically agrees to not leave and agrees to watch the box, and because that's the assumption. So the guy goes over and like he finds the guy, like he's calling the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend is not picking up until he says us, like we, and he's like, and then he's so confused. He's like, I thought you were the only one in the house. And then he's like, well, no, the girlfriend was there too. And he's like, and then he tells him that basically the boyfriend tells the ex-boyfriend that the girl is still at the house, and then he starts freaking out. The ex-boyfriend starts freaking out, and I can't do it justice for it. Actually, fuck it, I'll put it in this.
Who's us?
Come on about me not leaving the house.
Ben, I didn't tell it to do anything. I didn't even know it could speak.
Sean, what's going on?
Ben, it's lying to you. I don't know why, but it lied to you.
Why did you give this to us?
Us, you keep saying us. Who's us?
Us, man, me and Rachel. She was at the house.
Ben, where are you right now?
I'm coming to you.
No! You have to keep your eyes on it!
I know, Rachel's watching it.
No, Ben, you! God damn it, I gave it to you! You have to keep your fucking eyes on it! Ben, don't go back. Don't you go back there!
After that scene, you're like, holy shit. You're like, holy shit. This whole thing just changed. And what's even great, like for the service of the fan too, you get to see what happens after he gets back home. So he gets back home and like the lights are ripped out of the sockets. Like there's no explanation on that. It's just like you can't turn on the lights. So he's got a flashlight. The sinks and waters are running in the house, which is also weird. And then yeah, he basically like he hears the shower downstairs, and so he goes to check out. Hears his girlfriend call to him, and I'm like, no, dude, no. My goosebumps are up there. I'm like, no, dude, no. I'm calling the SWAT team. I'm not going in there. Like, it is a dark ass house. There was a dude crawling out of a box. I'm not doing that. But this guy's better than me because basically, he walks into his doom, and that's basically it. But anyway, so discussion about the actual points in the spoilers. I loved that they did not show the creature. They basically, all they showed was his eyes, and Oh, I got an ad. They show only his eyes and like a little bit of his fingers, and then at the very end, they show like half of his body. Now, I assume it's a dude, right? Like that's the assumption that it's a guy, but man, they picked, I don't know, the casting is great. They picked like the creepiest looking dude ever. But the fact that I don't get to see what is in the box is super freaky. I love that. I love it to death. That I enjoyed that much about it, but also it had the thing that we usually expect is that, oh, somebody has to be looking at it or it's gonna kill us, you know, that sort of thing, like the weeping angels or not. I almost said Slender Man, but that is not actually how that works. That's the opposite. You can't look at that guy. Oh, like that SCP, the one, I forget what the number is, but it's the same thing. You gotta be looking at him or he's gonna kill you, that sort of thing. So that's what we're expecting. But the fact that it's like linked to the box, right? It's like you opened it, so you have to watch it. Otherwise, it's gonna kill everybody else. It's like, so you have to watch it, like the scene, and like that. At that point, if you haven't heard anything about the film, you're getting the same realization as the character at the exact same time, and that is cool. Like, usually the story tries to give more to the audience because they can see more, but the fact that you got the same assumption as the dude in the scenario, in the crisis, that is like so cool. I thought it was peak. That was very enjoyable. I'm not rating the story, I am rating the scariness, but I did like that a lot. So my overall decision, I gotta say, this is gotta be, so if you remember the last fear gauge, I actually kind of listed them out. So basically the different levels are 0 being not scary, 1 creepy, 2 spine chilling, 3 stressful, 4 scary, 5 is nightmare fuel. This would be considered a 3. It's stressful. This is like, you're like not comfortable at all watching this film. It's not scary because there's nothing visceral about it. There's nothing like, ooh, that like there's nothing that'll like keep you from looking away from the screen. Because they're not using any like freaky imagery or anything like that. But just like the whole setting and stuff like that it's pretty stress inducing. So anyway, it's like a level 3. It's a level 3 scariness level. So again, this is definitely not for people who are very scared very quickly, very easily. Definitely not for that. But for people who are, you know, like pretty chill, but they're looking for something like interesting to watch, like this is a pretty good suggestion. And I know I'm not rating the content of it, the plot or whatever, but this is a very good take on a kind of like horror short film. I really liked it. Thank you all for watching this fear gauge. I will catch you guys in the next one. And if you want to watch me react to the thing that I'm talking about, check out Noodle TV. That's where I upload all my streams. And you'll be able to actually kind of see me react to the stuff I'm talking. Oh, sorry. React to the stuff I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.